Before Rome, before Egypt's golden age, before Babylon's towering ziggurats, there was another empire, one so powerful it united all of Mesopotamia under a single ruler for the first time in human history. And yet, almost no one knows its name. Who were they? What happened to them? And why has history tried to erase their memory? This is the story of the Akkadian Empire, the first empire you've never heard of. When we think of ancient empires, our minds go to Egypt, Persia, or Rome. But rewind the clock back to over 4,300 years ago, and you'll find the Akkadians, a forgotten people who created the blueprint for empire building. Led by a man born in secrecy, raised in obscurity, and crowned by destiny, Sargon of Akkad. Today we're diving into the rise, reign, and mysterious fall of a civilization that changed the course of history and then vanished into myth. The story begins like a legend, a baby placed in a reed basket, floating down the Euphrates River. But this isn't Moses. This is Sargon, whose very name means true king. Born a servant, he rose through the ranks under the rule of King Urzababa of Kish. But a prophecy loomed. Sargon was destined to overthrow his master, and he did. Sargon led a rebellion, seized power, and founded the city of Akkad. From there, he would conquer the known world. Sargon's conquests were ruthless and swift. He built the world's first standing army, equipped with bronze weapons and battle formations ahead of their time. He united Sumer, Elam, and Assyria, a feat never accomplished before. This was more than a kingdom. This was an empire. Under Sargon, trade stretched from the Indus Valley to the Mediterranean. His scribes developed a unified Akkadian language, spreading literacy across the empire. He even styled himself king of the four quarters of the world. And the gods? They were on his side, or so he claimed. Sargon knew power wasn't enough. He needed divine legitimacy, so he declared himself chosen by Ishtar, the goddess of war and love. Temples were built, statues raised, myths written. This fusion of religion and monarchy set the precedent for divine kingship, used by pharaohs, Caesars, and emperors for millennia. But not everyone accepted Sargon's rule. Rebellions brewed in the south. Enemies gathered in the Zagros Mountains. Even nature seemed to turn against the empire. Despite resistance, Sargon ruled for 56 years. After his death, his grandson Naram-Sin would take the empire to new heights. Naram-Sin called himself the god of Akkad, a divine being among mortals. He crushed uprisings, built massive roads and temples, and expanded into Anatolia and beyond. But his arrogance may have sealed the empire's fate. One legend claims Naram-Sin plundered a sacred temple, invoking a divine curse. Soon after, famine, plague, and invasion struck the empire like hammer blows. The fall was as dramatic as the rise. Climate change, yes, even back then, may have caused a century-long drought. Fields turned to dust, crops failed. The Gutians, a mysterious mountain people, swept in from the northeast, raiding cities and burning temples. By 2154 BCE, the Akkadian Empire was no more. Its cities abandoned, its legacy buried, but not forgotten. Though the empire crumbled, its impact echoed across time. The idea of a centralized empire, a standing army, a bureaucratic system, and state-sponsored religion all began with Akkad. Future rulers, from Hammurabi to Alexander the Great, followed Sargon's playbook. And in 1976, archaeologists finally discovered Akkad's lost city, or so they thought. To this day, the capital of the world's first empire has never been definitively found. It remains one of history's greatest archaeological mysteries. So why did history forget the Akkadians? They left behind no great pyramids or marble ruins. Their writing, cuneiform, was buried under thousands of years of dirt, and their enemies wrote the stories that survived. But in clay tablets, scattered across Iraq and Syria, their echoes remain. Epic tales, royal decrees, astronomical observations, whispers from the first people to rule an empire. We live in the age of empires, of globalization, governance, and war. But it all started over 4,000 years ago with a servant who became a king, a city that became a legend, and a people whose legacy shaped civilization itself. The Akkadians were the first to dream of ruling the world, and though history tried to erase them, we remember.